Don't give up. It's been said a million times by people from all walks of life that have never been in that situation.
Whether they've been there before or they'll never be.
People throw around hold on all the time. Fight. Don't give up. You really have to push through and eventually you'll get your foot in a door.
It may not be where you want to be, but it will be somewhere. That's better than where you are now.
It gives you freedom. You don't go somewhere at 9, leave at 5, go home, have dinner. That's a rinse and repeat life. There's none of that.
Both my parents struggle with mental illnesses. Mine was there already, genetics, shitty childhood, etc. Accumulated into an extreme version of the teenage.
Fuck you, I'm right.
One night, Mum and I screamed at each other. She wanted me to go to uni, I wanted to go to TAFE. So she said,
"You will never make something of yourself."
I spat back that she was an alcoholic. She screamed at me to get out of her house. So I did.
So I did.
So I did.
So I did.
We didn't have a crisis. Yeah, there's the rich people who should be paying more but don't. What are you gonna do? One day, the rich kids might actually be nice. I didn't understand what they were fighting for. I thought the whole thing was Tent City. Just a place for people to sleep. And hippies. I remember you could see all the hippie stalls and everything.
It seems
dead now.
I didn't lose my friends. Not really, which was fortunate. We mostly just hung out drinking and talking shit. There's actually some really fun memories in there. Like, there's nothing monumental. Being homeless is the bad memory. The worst ones were when you would be staying at someone's houses and they would ask you to move on.
Hey, you're cute. Wanna come over for Netflix and chill?
Would it be okay if I stayed the night? My Airbnb fell through and they can't refund my deposit until tomorrow. I don't want to be stuck in the cold, it's supposed to rain.
Maybe. Could you do something for me?
What is it?
I love red. It's my favorite color on women. I love red dresses, red bikinis, and red lips on women. Would you wear something for me?
Can I sleep on the couch and give you the money from my deposit tomorrow instead?
I don't want your money. Some pics of you in a red bikini with some red lips would suffice.
I'm not looking for sex. Just a place to stay out of the rain.
Would you watch while I'm playing with myself? You don't have to join. I'm okay with just seeing your face while you watch, if that's what you want. That's payment enough.
Being vulnerable, I was sexually assaulted. Scammed by people who took advantage of my position or where I had no other choice. Often at homeless shelters for supplies as money was spent on rent. My health suffered, including my mental health. I was sick for a long time, unable to find a stable environment.
People illegally rent rooms with more people than were at the entire apartment. Couldn't find anything reasonably priced.
I didn't have the income.
Always apply for emergency housing if you're homeless.
Be careful though.
Very flush real estate is easier.
Most of the time, you won't have to talk to the person you're living with, and it's usually legit.
It was a 3-bedroom house.
With 5 people.
6 cats.
And a dog.
Mostly, it was fine.
Tensions would run high. We had this one massive fight one night.
I put on my shoes and I walked from Narrow Warren South to Narrow Warren North and back.
If I turn things into a joke, it doesn't suck anymore.
Couch surfing wasn't bad. No one offered me a shower, so I didn't shower. I always forget.
One girl complained when I did that.
But no one told me I stank, so I didn't think about it. That was during the homeless times. Same thing at my mate's place, actually, when his mum died. We didn't shower there either. None of us did. Too many people and we're
We're
not
not
paying the water bill.
After that, it was a boarding house where junkies, ex-jailbirds, and prostitutes went to. It was not a safe environment. Half of them were crazy. The jailbird's mental state was ridiculous. Constantly, people were coming in and out. And one of them stole my expensive glasses.
It's a weird feeling.
You're in a home. You stay there. But it's not yours.
It's hard to describe. It's restrictive.
I wasn't represented in the rest of the house.
When you move somewhere, you decorate. Put up photos or something. There wasn't that.
I was given a room of stuff. A bed and some furniture.
None of it belonged to me. The biggest moment was buying my own towels. I hadn't had my own towels for years. Nothing was mine.
When my ex got emergency housing, we were put up in a hotel.
Not a good one.
Some water leaked into the bedroom and I slipped and damaged my coccyx.
I had to half lie to get onto Sentinel. It was shite, absolute shite. They require a fixed address. Most job applications require a fixed address too. It wasn't super often I could do that, so I just used wherever my boyfriend was living at the time.
Suddenly cut me off because I didn't make my appointments. The mail went to my house but not to me. I ended up busking for money. I don't know how I got it. I tried to rap for money. Some guy didn't understand what I was saying, but he gave me money for trying. Busking spots cause huge fights, unless you get there first.
I used my busking money to pay for pants when I couldn't get them from friends. Or I'd use toilet paper from public toilets. That can easily be used if there's no sanitary things. I still do that from time to time when I run out of money.
When you're staying in the city, there are plenty of toilets around. Although public toilets aren't open that often.
To this day, when I drink, I pee in bushes.
Quite often they are cleaner. I never found that part difficult when I was on the street.
When you're a kid, you take for granted things that appear in the bathroom. They're so expensive. You're running low, you tell mum, and more appears fantastic. Then suddenly you have to get them all yourself. They cost so much. You start with nothing and you don't have it. Oh, I've used dish soap to wash my hair before. Thanks for understanding. Getting emergency housing is tricky, and my boyfriend kicked me out.
It's okay. I just want you to be safe and warm, to be honest. I care about all people, even strangers.
Fantastic, thank you. Do you have a spare bed or a couch or...
If I go to share it with you, yes. Might have a little fun with you too, though. Nothing crazy. Just some oral and maybe some light BDSM if you're into that.
I'll sleep on the floor, I don't mind. Listen, I can find a new place tomorrow if it's too much trouble.
Stay if you like. You just have to give me blowjobs daily. Make Daddy come.
I can't stay without having sex.
We're all guilty of trying that. Please stay safe.
My boyfriend was living with an ex of mine. We met through old city friends at HillSceneLIVE. I apologize for all the wrongdoings in the past. His girlfriend had stolen my dress, stretched it to ribbons. It was ruined. I would hang out with him, but he was with her. He would think about breaking up with her.
I stuck up for her playing devil's advocate.
They They hadn't spoken in a couple of months and they're engaged.
She used the excuse she couldn't get internet.
She still posted online. She still spoke to other people.
It was cruel.
I helped do the breakup and he developed a crush. Mostly, I think he needed a drinking buddy. He drank for a week and then I came over. We drank for a fortnight.
My tolerance is a lot lower now.
My tolerance is a lot lower now.
My tolerance is a lot lower now.
My tolerance is a lot lower now. I started drinking for social anxiety after an incident with an ex. I bought some cans with my Christmas money, and I only got one. He drank the rest. I asked him for a sip of the last can. He'd already started drinking it. He crushed it up and threw it at me. The glass ashtray ended up hitting my knee, and my knees weren't that good to begin with. He threw something else as I was running out. After that, I drank because I had my own money and no one could tell me not to.
I drank because I was able to drink.
I developed social anxiety because my ex wouldn't let me socialise.
I ended up drinking more and more.
I'm banned in one bar for throwing up by the pool table. I soaked my pants. I didn't want to get the pool table, so I aimed down. I asked the security guard if I could take my pants off, and he said I could, and then he's like,
What? No, go to the bathroom first.
I was wearing a second pair of pants underneath and didn't want to get them ruined too. He could tell I was wearing a second pair of pants. I don't know why he was freaking out.
At the place I used to drink at, one of the guys would give me free drinks when I ran out of money. In retrospect, he sort of helped along my alcoholism by giving me free drinks when I needed them. I ended up drinking way too much. Was in hospital a few times. My own fault.
I cut down my alcoholism. It's not bad now.
I smoked marijuana instead. I attended drug and alcohol counselling for a while. Found it didn't help, so now I smoke more weed. My workers don't care. They say, if it helps, it helps. Even my psych agreed when I told him it makes me feel, normal. It stops the psychosis instead of starting it. Which is weird, right? It should do the opposite.
I still have fluid in my lungs. When I have cones, need to lay down. Too strong. My first one, I was able to walk. I can't walk anymore when I have weed. Lack of lungs was horrible. I don't find many repercussions. The main thing that causes repercussions is sinusitis. When I get a cold, I feel my glands swell up.
The first time I was in a psych ward, I was grieving. My mum had passed away. The Melbourne clinic were quite good. The second time was in the old part of the hospital. Less nice. They were quite helpful, but just too expensive, Now it's usually Werribee Psych or a hospital overnight if I'm having a depressive stint.
I got glandular fever. It's difficult getting to my appointments with glandular fever. I passed out on the tram because it's too hot and I can't breathe.
I had a year of psychology sessions. There was self-harm at one point. A couple of points, actually. Just a really dark place. Sometimes I did it because I felt like I deserved it, and other times it was just to feel something. I'd think, oh, there are trucks going past. Pretty easy to hop in front of one of those, because it'll only take a second. And then I thought, no, I wouldn't be able to see people or do things. I had people counting on me, and I didn't want to let them down. I continued my original task instead of throwing myself in front of traffic.
I chose to leave home because Pa was sick at the same time I was. We didn't know what he had, we didn't know what I had. We found out later that he had whooping cough and I had glandular fever. On the streets, I could have killed myself. Half the time I was couch surfing. I ended up living with the homeless commune, Tent City.
Wine helps sleep.
If I don't be sleeping in public, I'd make sure to get plastered with mates first.
If I wasn't with mates, I'd find a bottle of something to nip at, keep warm.
It's not actually making you warm, not properly warm. Only feeling warm.
Everyone makes such a big deal about homeless spending money on drugs or alcohol.
Do you not know how hard it is to sleep on the streets?
Alcohol helps you sleep.
No one noticed when I slept down at the Grave Center place where the scene kids drink. My friend left early, so I slept there. I was helping out a guy who never had a place to stay. It's alright, he's not getting to where he needs to be, so I stay to keep him warm. This guy comes up, hands me his business card, tells me to call if ever I need help. I'm on the streets, doesn't this look like I need help?
At one point I was pregnant.
I got prenatal depression.
I miscarried through heart arrest. I overdosed on my psych meds.
That was the first stint on the streets.
I was once left on Hobo Bridge, right, from near Flinders, right, from 1 a.m. till 5 a.m. I was drunk. A bartender found me in a boob tube dress that somehow didn't fall up or down. I was passed out on the sidewalk. Oh, God.
An angry guy in St. Kilda stole his mate's sleeping spot and then stole another mate's doona. I'm pretty sure he shit right next to their sleeping spot as well. One of the girls was like,
Who shat here?
I knew he shat there. It must have been him. Guess what he used to clean it up with? His mate's doona.
When you meet ones like that, it puts you off the whole area.
Those girls were hard.
The guy who did it, he just sat there. He didn't do it or help or anything. I was sick at the time. I'm pretty sure I'd broken my ribs. They hurt for months.
The cops kicked us in the swag, thinking we were part of Tent City. They kicked my partner until they saw my head pop out. Then they moved away. They'll kick a male, but they won't kick a female. There seems to be a discrimination that way. The cops would often take money given to you in the cold. So you'd hide away notes so you wouldn't lose it. My ex-boyfriend used to call it cold buying. They'll get homeless mates to sit across the road and look out for cops so they can grab everything and leave. Or else you lost it all. He asked me to do that, but I wasn't wearing my glasses at the time.
When I stayed over at people's places and they thought that I'd stayed over for sex, they'd keep trying. Of course they'd keep trying. I'd leave. I'd rather stay on the street. It's not hard to find a place. Just find a group of people to drink with and stay at their place. That's what it's like these days for the homeless.
The kids named it Tent City. All the city kids took over. The cops hated it. At Edinburgh Gardens, they took away the adults. There were only kids left there and me. I ended up looking after them. I was a mum to them. Half the kids had run away from abusive foster carers, and the DHS workers would say, they're putting it on. Seriously? I wouldn't show them where the kids were until they were put in different homes. I even showed them pictures of the kids' marks, which worked quite well, until I had to leave. I don't remember why that was.
It's hard to find a place to stay. People only want me to stay if they can take advantage of me. Seems like it's all I'm good for.
You're so wrong. No. There's other means of finding somewhere to stay.
It's so hard to find a place without money. The cops won't let me have my tent under the bridge at Flinders anymore.
I feel like you've been through some proper traumatic events in your life.
You're not wrong, mate. Don't suppose I could stay at yours then?
I would, but I still live with my parents. I'm only 18. I don't think they would allow it. I wish I could help more though.
I wouldn't want to get you in trouble with your folks. So why are you being so nice?
Because the world needs more love, that's why.
It can be harder for women. I mean, it can be hard for men. Often men can't find places to stay. No one wants to help a male because they can't angle for something in return. Unless they're a musician. Everyone wants to help the musician. With females, they try and get from you. Why can't I stay at your place without you trying? I always had male friends. I found it easier that way. The guys I hung out with didn't pressure me, so I didn't have that problem. It can be harder for males unless they're in a group or find a good spot.
Spots can be dangerous. My partner and I missed the last train once, and so a friend showed us all the sleeping spots in the area, but my partner said no to all of them. Some of them did have broken glass. We found someone's sleep set up amongst some scotch thistles, and we thought, well, no one's going to risk going in there to find us. It was difficult getting out the next day, though. It was easier at night with a torch. During the day, everything's green.
I lived with the homeless up on the hill. See, I slept in a tree because no one thinks to look up, and no one can grab me. Oh, my friends, they would hoist me up. It was so difficult getting down in the morning.
I played guitar and sang.
On good days, I made $200 an hour.
Some guys sold weed as a way to make money.
The guy I was with was former army, which meant army pay.
Whatever money we got, we used for food. People seem more giving to a female on the streets.
Especially if she's young and cute.
Yeah, the hard and ugly ones don't really get paid attention to.
They'll usually feel sorrier for a female on the street, right? It's weird.
Even if she's well dressed, she'll still get money.
They get money for free hugs.
I like the ones that had cans for drink money or weed money.
Actually, this guy gave me a $10 bill when he heard I was busking for weed.
I got stoned a lot. there was this one guy who was absolutely crazy. He was almost part of Tent City and the homeless. He was definitely bipolar with DID or something. But one of his personas was Ruby with a red wig and Queen Elizabeth with a blonde party wig. You get sandwiches out of the bins, and I didn't know they were out of the bins, so I started eating them. There was an ant on them, but it's fine, I just brushed the ant off. They still tasted okay, like they didn't taste stale or anything. One time, I moved a lollipop from one end of the table to the other end of the table to see how long it would take them to find it. Those ants found it in under 2 hours.
During the Tent City days, I slept during the day. I'd have late nights in Edinburgh Gardens with my old boyfriend. Likey asshole. We stayed in the kitchens with the knives because one of the guys got psychosis or schizophrenia. Would threaten to stab people. So we stayed there to keep the knives away from everyone else. The kitchen was a bit rocky, but it was the biggest room and we had it all to ourselves.
There was a commune tent where everyone could sleep. There was a whole bunch of tarps in a line. Of course, the cops said no more tents. We couldn't even put a pole up in the top of our swag. We could cover our stuff so no one would steal it from underneath our pillows. You couldn't cover your face on the streets. This one guy put up this big tent in Hobo Bridge. The cops moved him along, but it took him a while.
Some of Tent City was scared of a dog I used to lay on like a pillow. Although she did kill a possum once. She was a pit bull called Raph. I gave her my blanket because female dogs on wet grass aren't very nice. She claimed it and no one else was allowed to sit there except me. I'd lay on the blanket with her and get stoned. Even my boyfriend was scared of her. He missed his train one night, so I offered a place to stay with the homeless. But he's too scared of dogs, so he ended up sleeping on the hill, where no matter where you are, the wind blows on you. He shivered the whole time. So then he slept under the tree with all the concrete. It may be concrete, but at least it's not wet grass.
In St Kilda. They're different. They're a lot harder. I wouldn't trust them. They might not all be bad. I might be judging them all on one small group I met. One of them tried to do something nice but ended up doing something bad. They know that their mate is bad with weed. So they wouldn't offer it to him when they offered me some. They got me to the right tram stop, and that's when his mate offered him some.
He knows his mate does it, but covers it up.
That seems to be the culture with city people.
They protect each other for the wrong reasons.
The homeless look out for each other. A lot are on harder drugs, ice, and everything for mental health issues like severe anxiety. They can't live with other people and stay on the streets by choice. I mean, a lot are from mental hospitals and can't be placed anywhere. Then, yeah, there are the junkie ones too.
I went back to Edinburgh Gardens recently, but it's not home anymore. Everything's changed. There's even a barbecue area that you can drink at now. It's so sad that it's all different. Even the playgrounds have changed.
The constant stress, week by week, of never knowing where I'll be.
Or if I'll eat.
Or if I'll be assaulted without anywhere to go.
Not having a supportive family or friends and having to rely on what I accomplished with what I found.
I now know what it's like to be homeless on the streets.
Constant stress, stripping away their humanity.
I was able to meet people from different walks of life and gain strength and experience that makes surviving difficult situations easier.
Anxiety is high and I'm constantly in survival mode. I'm stronger for having survival instincts.
Severe mental illness makes keeping a job difficult.
I've got a full-time job that I'm essential in.
I've got my own home and one of 2 people renting. And I have 3 cats.
I'd gotten a Christmas bonus. Towels were on sale, so I put 2 on labour. The first thing I did when I took them home was shower to use my brand new towels.
Finally, I had something that was mine.